Hello and welcome to Sharon Local History. Sharon Historical Society and Sharon Friends of Conservation recently organized a hike to Moose Hill Farm, and I have few videos and pictures. I will add more information, but I hope you will enjoy this video to learn more about the Moose Hill Farm, which is 347-acre open space preserve and a historic farm complex that's located in Sharon, right on the Moose Hill. It's actually very close to the summit, and the summit is about 450 feet. The property was acquired in 2005 by the land conservation nonprofit organization, the Trustees of Reservation, and it includes farmland, woodlots, 21 farm buildings, hiking trails, stands of mature American chestnuts, and scenic vistas of Boston skyline. Moose Hill Farm is part of larger area of protected open space, including state land and the Massachusetts Audubon Society, right next door, basically. So that's Moose Hill Wildlife Sanctuary. By the way, Moose Hill Wildlife Sanctuary is the oldest and largest wildlife sanctuary. There are lots of forests, fields, and wetlands, and really cool hiking trails. And the great part is that there are a few spots that you can view Boston from, as well as the other side, Foxborough. So you can see Gillette Stadium. But it's incredible hiking trails, and by the way, no dogs are allowed. So back to the reservation where you can actually go hiking and picnicking and cross-country skiing, and you are allowed to bring dogs there. So parking is pretty easy, and actually you can find one spot where you can see Boston from, which is pretty cool. And now let's talk a little bit more history of the area.
Moose Hill Farm history. In 1904, a young entrepreneur named Henry P. Kendall took over his uncle's failing cotton batting factory on the banks of the Neponset River in Walpole. During his lifetime, he transformed the factory into the large multinational Kendall Company. Mr. Kendall's success enabled him to acquire and protect Moose Hill Farm, which housed a Guernsey dairy herd in the 1940s, along with thousands of acres of woodlands in Sharon. Cellar holes, foundation edges, stone walls, and open fields reflect agricultural trends in Massachusetts, which evolved from homestead to sheep farm to dairy during the 18th and 19th centuries.
So if you look at old maps, this one is from 1888, and if you search properties, there were truly many homesteads at the Moose Hill, and this is just one of the cellar halls you may walk by.
Property acquisition history. Moose Farm was acquired by a gift in 2005. Archival collections, material related to it is available in Sharon Archives and Research Center. Moose Hill Farm collection documents the building, alteration, and running of the farm, 1943 to 1961, and the Archives and Research Center welcomes donations of documents, manuscripts, records, photographs, maps, and memorabilia that pertain to a particular property. Please contact us. Phone number, web, email.
Thank you very much. So I just repeat a few numbers. So Henry P. Kendall began buying the land in Sharon at the Moose Hill around 1910. In 1931, he bought a 140-acre farm from Arthur Dreyfus, and that became the Moose Hill Farm. He renovated the house and the outbuilding. He settled in with his family in 1934, moving from their first home on Embankment Road in Boston. And the farm home was great for members of the family for over 60 years. After the death of Henry W. Kendall in 1999, the family began to divest itself of surrounding property. And in 2004, the farm property itself, including the main building complex and about 400 surrounding acres, was deeded to the Trustees of Reservation by the Henry P. Kendall Foundation. This is view from one of the pastures, and that's a view of the Great Blue Hill.
Great Blue Hill. Great Blue Hill is a hill of 635 feet located within the Blue Hills Reservation in Milton, Randolph, Canton, Massachusetts. In Braintree.
Quincy.
Just adding that. Okay, about 10 miles south of downtown Boston. It is the highest point in Norfolk County, Greater Boston area, and the tallest of the 22 hills that make up the Blue Hills chain in the Blue Hills Reservation. The modern name for the hill was given by early English colonists who, while sailing along the coastline, noticed the bluish hue of the exposed granite faces when viewed from a distance. This is due to ribosite. The Blue Hills eastern slopes face the ocean and lie within Quincy. The area once attracted quarrying for its, quote, blue granite. Great Blue Hill was a point of reference for the local indigenous folks. The local tribe were known as the people at the Large Hill, Massachusetts. The English called them the Massachusetts, which ultimately became the name of the state. If you're curious to know more about the indigenous Massachusetts, the Ponkapog Band, you can go to massachusettstribe.org. Okay, geography. The north and west sides of Great Blue Hill drain into the Neponset River and thence into Boston Harbor. The south and east sides of Great Blue Hill drain into the Blue Hill River, thence into the Farm River, Manataquat River, Weymouth Fore River, and into Boston Harbor. Its summit is the highest point in Greater Boston in Norfolk County, and also the highest within 10 miles of the Atlantic coast south of central Maine. For this reason, American meteorologist Abbott Lawrence Roch chose Great Blue Hill as the site for an observatory, which became known as the Blue Hill Meteorological Observatory after its completion in 1885.
And here are some pictures of the observatory at the Great Blue Hill. The meteorological observatory was completed in 1885, and this picture is more recent.
Roch conducted groundbreaking studies of the atmosphere at Blue Hill for many years, and meteorological data is still gathered at this site. From the Elliott Tower at the summit, the city of Boston and many of the surrounding hills of the Milton and Canton area are visible. Thank you very much.
So from the Moose Hill, you can see the Blue Hill, and this is, I just inserted few pictures of the Blue Hill. So this is the Elliott Tower. It was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in between 1937 and 1938. It is named in honor of landscape architect Charles Elliott, who was instrumental in preserving the Blue Hills Reservation. It is 35 feet tall, and it is a very popular destination. It's really cool to hike there. So now we are back at the Moose Hill Farm.
Great Blue Hill and the Blue Hills Reservation in general is a popular hiking destination, valued as much for its splendid trails and views as for its proximity to the metropolitan area. There is also alpine skiing available at Blue Hills Ski Area, consisting of 8 trails served by a double chair and 2 surface lifts. Summit Road, the steep paved road that leads to the top of the hill, is closed to cars except for employees of the Weather Observatory. However, the road is open to hikers and cyclists. Boston Public Radio and Television stations WGBH FM, WGBH TV take their call letters from Great Blue Hill, which was the original location of the station's FM and TV transmitters. WGBH FM still transmits from the site, grandfathered at an effective radiated power of 98,000 watts. WGBH TV moved its antenna to a taller tower in Needham in the 1960s. WZRM, an FM station licensed to Brockton, moved its transmitter northward from near Brockton to Great Blue Hill in 2005 to better serve Boston. The National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration weather radio station serving Greater Boston and adjacent coastal waters, KHB 35, transmits atop the hill as well. In 1980, the hill was the subject of a prank by WNAC TV's news department, where it was alleged that a volcano was erupting. There used to be a volcano, by the way. Great Blue Hill and the Blue Hills Reservation is the last remaining area in Greater Boston where the timber rattlesnake, we saw one last October, and copperhead can be found. These snakes are so rare in the state that they are rarely encountered by people. They are both considered endangered, making it illegal to harass, kill, collect, or possess.
Thank you. This is just a picture of all the antennas at the Blue Hills. And this is at the Moose Hill, the beautiful ferns. I always love them, admire them, but let's learn a little bit more about the hay-scented fern.
You ready? Hay-scented ferns. The hay-scented fern is considered an invasive native because it can form dense monocultural colonies that outcompete native vegetation, limit the growth of other plants, and disrupt forest ecosystems. While native to eastern North America, its aggressive spreading can negatively impact biodiversity by preventing tree seedlings from establishing and growing. Monoculture formation, it can create dense, expansive mats that prevent other plants from growing, leading to a loss of native plant diversity. Seedling competition, it competes with desirable hardwood seedlings for light, water, and nutrients, and its dense fronds and root systems can inhibit their development. Ecological impacts, this competition can affect the long-term health and sustainability of a forest by changing the types of trees that can regenerate there. Factors contributing to spread, its prevalence is linked to factors like acidic soil and the canopy thinning of other trees, which allows it more light to thrive. Thank you.
And then we stopped talking and started hiking. So we got somewhere actually. So our hikes are pretty leisure, and I hope that you yourself learned something from this video. Thank you for watching Sharon Local History.